Good morning everybody, and you're here with Jilly Red, and we are going to be talking about being engaged. Things that you shouldn't really do when you first get engaged. See, I got engaged about 2 weeks ago, and the day after I was engaged, obviously, I was telling everybody, I was telling my family, telling everybody, and everybody kept saying to me, oh, have you got a date yet? And I was like, I've been engaged less than 24 hours. You know, let me enjoy it and then I'll give you a date. So number one on this list is enjoy your engagement. Do not start planning it immediately. And I guess I know it's exciting and you want to start planning it and think about your wedding, but try to enjoy just being engaged for a little while. You know, enjoy the fact that you and your partner have finally made a commitment. So maybe just spend a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of days to just be engaged, be with one another and spend time together being a couple. The second tip I have for you today is try not to make it all about you. Of course, when you're first engaged, it's all very exciting, but other people do have news. So on the day you get engaged, yeah, talk about it all the time. But make sure that when you have other events going on, try to make sure that you're not only talking about yourself. Let people ask you, because often they will, and you'll find yourself being asked all the time anyway. I mean, I recently went to my brother's wedding. Most of the time I try not to even mention that I was engaged, but some people brought it up anyway, which is perfectly acceptable. Just don't say, oh, I'm engaged, I'm next, all the time. Just let other people do it and let people have their moment in the sun. You're going to have your day and you're not going to want somebody talking all the time about what they're going to do for their wedding or how they want it or how they're engaged and it's their turn next. You want to let them enjoy their moment. And plus, they spent a lot of money on that. Number 3, a tip for being engaged. When you do get down to planning your wedding, try not to think too extravagantly. I mean, if you have the money to think extravagantly, but try to think a little bit realistically too. You have some massive plans and some people think, oh, they want to do this with an elephant and they walk down the aisle, flowers lit up all over the place, you know, stuff like that. And some of that is feasible, some of that is possible. And if you've got the money to do it, you know what, do it, it's your day. But for people who are like me, who are on, you know, fairly average sort of income, you want to try to think within your means. And that's not saying you have to sacrifice everything, but maybe there are a few things that you can sacrifice doing instead of maybe getting the amazing, you know, embossed, silk-laden invitations that you want. Maybe craft some yourself. How many of your friends and family are going to look at your invitation and think, I'm not going to their wedding because they didn't emboss it with gold on the lettering? Hardly any of them. The majority of the people who you do invite are just going to be glad that they got an invite. Alongside that same motif, me and my fiance are really thinking about we want to go to the Caribbean. So we're thinking we could sacrifice certain things because we want to put more money into the honeymoon afterwards, because that's 2 weeks. You know, 2 weeks of going away, whereas this is 1 day. So maybe we don't want to go completely overboard with spending for the wedding, which is 1 day. Obviously, it's an amazing day and it's a fantastic day. It's a union of 2 people. But we'll have so much fun. We'll probably remember our honeymoon so much more than we would maybe a wedding. Number 4 of being engaged. Although everybody wants to have that perfect picture with the perfectly skinny waist and they want to look a certain way, a lot of people do feel pressure to go on crash diets or thinking immediately how much weight they need to lose. Of course, that's something that everybody wants and nobody wants to feel uncomfortable on their wedding day. But you have to also realise that it's a stressful time and dieting is probably the last thing that you want to really think about. Not only that, you're beautiful as you are, and it's not about getting into that perfect size 0 dress or size, you know, 6 dress, because we're in the UK, we don't even have size 0, but you know, size 6 dress. It's not all about fitting into something like that, because there are so many dresses out there that you'll find, and one of those dresses is going to be perfect for you, whether you have big boobs, a big bum, or have a big belly. It doesn't matter, because you're going to find something that you feel fantastic in it, and that's the most important thing. You don't want to focus too much on trying to get to a certain weight, because you want to feel confident in yourself and not just in the body that you think is the best, is the ideal that it should be. Finally, number 5 for tips for being engaged. Try not to put too much pressure on your bridal party. I have heard a lot of stories of people asking brides to lose weight, to gain weight, to dye the hair a certain colour, and I just think that's absolutely crazy. These women or these people that you've chosen as your bridesmaids or best man or anything. You chose them because of who they are, not because of what they look like. I would never think to ask any of my bridesmaids to lose weight or to gain weight. I want them to have a good time. I was jokingly talking to a colleague of mine about how I was going to make sure they had big poofy shoulders and massive bonnets and absolutely ridiculous. But obviously, that's not what I want. I want my bridesmaids to feel good. I want them to look good, and I want them to have a good time as well. Because it's not about me. A wedding is about a union of two families, not just two people. To ensure that everybody has a good time and you're not too stressed out, don't put loads of pressures on your bridesmaids to go to these crazy events and spend all this money, because some people can't afford that. And I know some of my bridesmaids aren't going to want to go to Vegas. Especially considering one of my bridesmaids is 9 years old. She's not going to want to do any of that stuff. So try to think about your friends. And I know it can be really stressful, and I know that you want to have things a certain way and people want things to go the way they want it. Most of the time when I see people, they don't even, on their wedding day, they don't even realise anything's gone wrong if it has. They don't notice it because, do you know what? They're so in love and they're having such a good time, realising that they're finally united with this one person that they've been waiting for, that nothing else really matters anymore. So try not to lose sight of the most important thing about a wedding, which is you and the person that you love. Anyway, that's it for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okie dokie, goodbye!